Welcome back. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that might literally move you closer. We're talking about the power of physical touch, not just as a love language, which we've been doing for the month of July, but as a deeply human need that has the power to heal, affirm, and even rewire our nervous system. So whether you're a hugger, a hand holder, or someone who flinches at contact. Some people don't like touch. This conversation is for you. Meanwhile, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Karen Marinas. I'm an emotional wellness coach. I help the exhausted woman who struggles to feel comfortable in her own skin, has low self-esteem, and so she overextends herself to please others and ends up exhausted. It's a vicious cycle. But I help you to learn how to prioritize your well-being and find peace, purpose, and passion. All right. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. By the time we're getting into it, you can hit the like button if you like what you hear, and that helps the message to get out. Be it an emotional what do we call it? Share. Share the wealth. Okay. And it allows others to learn about this message as well. So let me say hi. We have Leah. Hey, Leah. Yolanda. Hey, Chalbe. Yusimas. Hey, from Palm Bay. We have Reignite Your Radiance, my dear Gio. Arelis. Hola, buenas noches. And my Elvin. Good evening, darling. So why does touch matter? Physical touch is the first sense we develop in the womb. Long before we can see or speak, we feel, literally, the warmth of a mother's body, the pressure of skin against skin. It's primal. It's language without words. That's what it is. In fact, researchers have found that gentle, intentional touch can lower cortisol. That's the stress hormone. When we have high cortisol levels, our whole body is on fire. We don't function well. But a gentle, intentional touch can lower cortisol. It boosts oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and it regulates the heartbeat. It communicates what words cannot communicate. You're safe, you are seen, you are not alone. Isn't that beautiful? So let's say it again. Touch, communicate what words cannot. A baby, that skin to skin on the mom or on the dad, they say even after the birth is very important. They used to take the baby away and have it. No, now they realize as long as the baby is okay, that first contact with the mother is everything. It's so important for their well-being. They're safe. Mama's here, right? So when we have dramatically reduced human contact, which is kind of how we live now, digital, I'd rather text than go see the person. A lot of us are working remote or hybrid. We work some days at home, some days in the office. I personally miss, I need to speak to someone, just going walking up in their office because I may be there a day that they're not there in the office because everybody's hybrid, right? We're running short on physical interactions, and we're definitely running short on hugs and touch. There's less interacting person to person in the very presence of others. It's all screen time, social media. I have 50 likes, but I haven't seen any of these people in years, right? So touch is vital for survival. Is it a love language or is it a life force? Most of us know it from the 5 love languages, which is what we've been talking about this month, created by Dr. Gary Chapman. One of them is, of course, physical touch, which is why we're talking about it. For people whose primary love language is touch, it's how you receive and express love. Somebody put their hand on your shoulder, grab your hand, give you a hug. That's your love language. You receive and express love. And here's what's fascinating. Even if it's not your love language, touch still impacts you because we are humans. Think about a comforting hug, a reassuring pat on the back, a hand held during grief. These moments anchor us and they remind us that we're not in this alone. A touch says, I'm here. It's not just physical, but it's also emotional. Hey, Itza and Tiff. Hey, and Dr. Justo and at me best. Hello, good evening. So when we're deprived of that touch, it's not just loneliness we feel, it's disconnection from ourselves and the world. A lot of us are walking around disconnected from our bodies, numb from the neck down. In fact, there's a term for this. It's called skin hunger. When we're deprived of physical touch, it describes the deep longing some people feel when they go too long without an affectionate touch. And it's real. Our bodies and our brains need it. We were created with that requirement, just like we require water to survive. Think of the account in the Bible with Jesus and the leper. Who knows how long it had been that he had been touched? Jesus didn't just cure him, but he touched him. Why? Because touch is very important to us as humans. Jesus would have known that, right? So what about those that don't like to be touched when touch isn't safe for them? For some, especially those that have had trauma, touch can feel overwhelming or triggering, like, right? They may even, you go to touch and they pull away. That's valid. It's nothing wrong with you. It's just what happened to you, right? So healing touch begins with consent and attunement, being in line. Not just can I touch you, but am I present enough to notice how you respond? That if you pull back, I'm aware that it's okay, you just don't feel safe right now. And I only touch if you give consent. There are therapies like somatic experiences or even trauma-informed massage that show us how touch, when done with care and intention, can help release stored emotional pain. Some of you have done that and you really appreciate it because the body remembers, but the body can also relearn, be reprogrammed, our minds reprogrammed so that we don't associate touch with trauma that is not triggering. So the question is, can we reclaim touch as something sacred, something safe, something healing, and look at it from a totally different perspective? If we don't like touch, yes, I know, Leah, you love somatic therapy. If you don't like touch, it could be because of a trauma, but it also could be from growing up and not being touched lovingly by a parent. There was neglect, there was coldness, or maybe in your culture, it's not acceptable. It's just not something people do, go around hugging each other. It's a brief kiss, right? So we're not used to it and we never felt that from our parents. It feels like rejection. So it's uncomfortable to us now that we're adults. It spells vulnerability. And we're like, I don't trust you like that. Don't touch me. It makes sense though. If I can't trust my parents, they never did that. They didn't touch me and they're not safe people. How can I trust the outside world? If I'm not safe with my parents, how can I feel safe with anyone, even myself? And definitely don't go trying to touch me. Keep your, back it up, right? There are people who feel that way. And then there are others who love physical touch. Okay. But if you are one of those that you don't like physical touch, I would encourage you to try to figure out why. It's all about being self-aware. Why don't I like people touching me? And could it be that you didn't get that affection? And affection from a parent, again, means I love you, you're safe. When you don't get that as a child, it's hard to accept it as an adult. We're all different. Some then crave it in inordinate amounts, and others, they reject it. So it's nothing wrong with you. It's what happened to you. And I encourage you to get on the journey to figure out what it is so that you can heal that and retrain your body to say, no, touch is good. Okay. What about everyday moments of connection? How do we bring more meaningful touch into our lives? It could be holding your child's hand while walking to school, a warm hug for a friend who's had a hard day. It could be touching your own heart as you say something kind to yourself. Animals, you could pet your dog or cat and feel their heartbeat back. Animals thrive on being petted and touch. It's not about performance, like how long or how, it's about presence, being fully there. Because you could have your child's hand, but be on the cell phone or be there and be far, far away. The child knows that. Doesn't mean anything. But if you have that child's hand and you're really all there, audience is in the house, hey, then it means love. respect. I'm here for you. You're safe. We're crossing the street together, but it's just not about your physical safety. It's that I love you and I want you by my side, right? So it's about presence. Even in romantic relationships, it's not always about sensuality. It's about intimacy. Laying your head on someone's shoulder, brushing their hair behind their ear, simply sitting close in silence, holding hands, a hug. Those little moments build emotional glue. It bonds. It's so important. Parents, please hug your children. Grab their hands, sit with them on the couch and watch a movie together. Interact, be present, share with them. Husbands and wives, do that with each other. Single, share that with your friends. Be real, be authentic. So, what about self-touch in a healing way? Not sexual contact, but in a soothing way. It's so important because we're not always surrounded by people who are available, right? We may live alone, or you may be not married, but you don't have an affectionate spouse. Oh, he's not like that. Here are some things you can do. You can place your hand on your heart when you're anxious. You can massage your own shoulders with loving intention. Again, it's presence. It's not just, it's presence. This is one of my favorites. Wrap yourself in a blanket and notice the warmth. I have a favorite throw on my couch. Love it. And my nephew was here yesterday. He loves it too. Or in the wintertime, I love a heated blanket. Oh, right. And feel that warmth. Touch doesn't always need to come from someone else. We can give it to ourselves, and we can even rebuild trust with our own body, especially after stress or trauma. So here are some other ways that you can touch yourself. You can give yourself a hug. You can squeeze yourself, and you can stay there as long as you want to. That's the beautiful thing. What about massages and body work? You could schedule regular professional massages to relieve muscle tension, reduce stress, and experience the comforting sensation of human touch. You might look into other types of body work like acupuncture, chiropractor adjustments that involve physical contact. Also, hair care. A trip to the salon to get your hair washed and styled can also be comforting touch, right? I know with me, it reminds me of when my mom used to wash my hair as a little girl. She was very gentle, and then she would blow dry it and then use the hot iron on the stove to straighten it out. You can also use weighted blankets and pillows. The weighted blanket or body pillow mimics the feeling of being held or cuddled, particularly if you want to reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality. I know people who love their weighted blankets. I've tried it. I haven't tried the pillow. I liked the weighted blanket, but it felt too much for me. But there are people who they say they sleep like a baby when they have their weighted blanket because it mimics the feeling of being held or cuddled. Foam rolling and self-massage. You could use a foam roller or a roller ball to give yourself a full body massage, yourself stimulating sensory receptors, easing muscle tension. We always want to be self-sufficient because we cannot control the people around us. We cannot make the people around us change. And what if they don't have the time? They're not interested. It's not their thing. They have their own trauma. They're not available. And then do we sit there and say, well, my husband's not affectionate, or my friends don't hug, or my culture. You can take control of your own care. Yeah. Uh-huh. Gio said, you'll know about my blanket. I must talk about it often enough. And Leah says, foam roller. Ooh, want to try that. Yeah. So let's talk about hugs. I'm a hugger. And some people, again, don't like hugs. But let's talk about some of the benefits. It can lower blood pressure and heart rate, reduce stress and anxiety, boost the immune system. Tiffany, love my weighted blanket. It's the best. You see, Tiff is one of those weighted blanket lovers. Hugs also promote the release of oxytocin, which again is called the love hormone. It fosters feelings of happiness, connection, and trust. I'm told the research says that a 20-second hug So now we're supposed to hug and count. Allows your body to release a significant amount of oxytocin, which fosters those feelings of happiness, help you de-stress after a long day, and promote a positive mindset. So hug and count. Victoria Satir, I had never heard of her. Doing my research, she's a world-renowned family therapist. Listen to what she's famous for saying. This is very interesting. We need 4 hugs a day for survival. It's kind of comical, but I'm like, okay, 8 hugs a day for maintenance and 12 hugs a day for growth. I'm like, okay, so 4, 8, 12. Survival, maintenance, and growth. So that means parents, at least 12 hugs a day, right? And we should try to get ours. How many hugs are you getting each day? It's something we could be mindful of, because there's a literal physical response to hugs. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the physical benefits. Reduces stress and anxiety. It reduces cortisol, right? It leads to a calmer state of mind. The release of oxytocin promotes or contributes to lower blood pressure, slower heart rate. It promotes cardiovascular health. Like this is for our health. It boosts the immune system, reducing the severity and duration of illnesses like the common cold. A hug, pain relief. It can trigger the release of endorphins, which are natural pain relievers. It can help us alleviate aches and pains. Hugs improve sleep because it reduces stress and promotes relaxation, so we have better sleep quality. This is amazing stuff. What about the emotional benefits? It definitely strengthens relationships. It fosters a sense of connection and intimacy, strengthening the bonds between loved ones. It reduces loneliness. The release of the oxytocin helps us combat feelings of loneliness and isolation, because obviously if somebody's hugging you enough for that oxytocin to be released, you're loved, you're not alone. It boosts self-esteem. Again, parents, please hug your children. Hugs can make individuals feel loved, supported, and more confident in themselves, because you're here. I love you. You're important. It promotes trust. Physical touch, like hugging, builds trust and a sense of security. And it improves our mood. Hugs can trigger the release of endorphins and other mood-boosting hormones, leading to a happier and more positive outlook. Isn't that amazing? From a hug. It says it's never made the connection that a touch can trigger a trauma. Yeah. So we have to be, that's self-awareness. If it triggers a trauma, it's okay. Let's try to figure out what the trauma was, what happened way back then, right? Be very gentle with ourselves, go back, work on it. If you want someone to accompany you, Coach Karen is available, right, to talk about it, investigate back there, do a little digging, because we're made to have skin-to-skin contact. We're made to look at the benefits of hugs. We were created to accept hugs. And so if our body is rejecting it, there's a reason. Because it doesn't make sense. If we're made that way, why would we reject it? And Leah says, I'm on a deficit. I have to do some self-hugs today. Look, get your numbers up. Let's get those numbers up. What about cultural, spiritual, and communal touch? It's interesting that the research says touch isn't just biological, it's cultural and spiritual too. So in some cultures, hugging or kissing on the cheek is the norm. In others, touch is reserved or it's sacred. But touch is even though it's a universal language, it's spoken differently depending on the world you come from. So across all cultures, one truth is the same: we need each other. Humans need humans, people need people. Sometimes connections start with something as simple as holding a hand. However, we have to respect other people's view from their culture, religion, right? The part of the world that they're from, background, family dynamic. We have to realize that some people view it very differently, right? So if we're on a deficit, let's get to it. All right. So what is your relationship with touch? Do you crave it? Someone said, I'm on a deficit. Do you avoid it? or do you miss it? Do you love it, but you haven't had enough hugs through the day? Remember the 4, 8, 12. So I want to invite you this week to notice the small amounts of the small moments of physical connection with friends, spouse, family, children. Be more mindful in your hugs, more intentional in your presence, not just, oh, no, be fully there. And if you're healing your relationship with touch, be gentle with yourself. There's a reason why your body is on the defense. It's okay. Be gentle, but be open to figuring it out so that you can retrain your body to say, no, now it's safe. I'm in control. This is okay. Right? We can do that because here's what's the truth. Physical touch isn't just about the body, it's about the soul. It's a connecting, it's a way of saying you matter, you're not alone, you're loved, you're important to me. I adore you. I'm so glad you're a part of my life, right? And if this message, this episode touched you, all right, the pun is intended. Share it with somebody that might need to hear it. Because touch is very important. We were made to have physical touch. I would like to share some journal prompts with you in regards to physical touch, because this may help some that their bodies are rejecting it and even others that are craving it. Touch and childhood. What are some of my earliest memories of being in touch with care or comfort? And how was physical affection expressed or not in my family growing up? You may crave it and can't get enough of physical touch because you didn't get it in your childhood. And then another child in that same house that didn't get it may reject it because it's like, I didn't get it, and right, or other reasons. Number 2, touch as a love language. Is physical touch one of my love languages? Why not? It's definitely one of mine. And when do I feel most loved or connected through touch? What about boundaries and safeties? Number 3, are there any types of touch that make me feel uncomfortable and why? And how do I communicate my boundaries around physical contact? Some people don't like you in their hair. Some people don't like to be touched in their back. It's different. We're all so unique and there's a reason for everything. So figure out, is there a place or type of touch that makes me feel uncomfortable? Some people don't like massages. Some people, don't touch me, right? So we have to figure it out and figure out why. And then how do I communicate my boundaries? There's a sister like Karen. There's a woman that like Karen that comes up and she wants to hug me all the time. How do I tell her, can you not hug me so tight? Right? That makes me uncomfortable. Whatever the thing. What about number 4, healing through touch? Have I ever experienced a moment when touch helped me heal emotionally? That's a really good one. I know at my father's funeral, every hug was felt and appreciated. And I've had other moments in my life where, wow, it was healing. And how do I feel about receiving or giving hugs, hand holding, or other forms of touch now? The 5th, self-touch and self-soothing. What does nurturing touch look like when I offer it to myself? Is it a hug? I mean, you could sit in a hug for a long time. And what practices can I incorporate to comfort my body through intentional self-touch? Some people massage their legs, massage their feet. And lastly, cultural and social, no, it's not the last one, sorry. Cultural and social influences. How has my culture or upbringing shaped the way I give and receive touch? Are there societal messages I've internalized about physical affection? Maybe your culture says that it's inappropriate or we just don't do that. And now you're in the midst of other cultures that do it. Have you internalized that and you push it away, you reject it? It's possible, right? Leah. My love language is physical touch, but when someone grabs me from behind to give me a hug, I feel uncomfortable. Yep, and she has the emoji. That's something to dive into, to explore. Why? Could be that you feel out of control. Who's grabbing me? But if they come from the front, then but that's something to explore for sure. I'm going to meditate on why exactly. And number 7, reclaim safe touch. Is there an area of my life where I'd like to invite more safe, affirming touch? Maybe you have key people that you feel comfortable with, and you're like, okay, I can try with them. I'll take hugs from them in particular. And what would it feel like to be fully at ease in my own body? Because we're so tense, again, from trauma, from things that have happened in our lives that we had no control over. But wouldn't it be nice to be fully at ease? Someone mentioned a week or so ago that her husband said, you're always in fight or flight mode. Always like, right? There's a reason for it. But if we can work on it and bring it down so that our bodies feel comfortable and at ease, can you imagine how that would affect your daily life and the people around you? Wow. Now, this is the last one, touch and presence. Number 8, how can I bring more mindfulness into moments of touch, whether with myself, others, or the natural world? Again, be in the moment, be present, because what good is it a husband to hug you, a parent, a wife to hug you, and you know they're far away, they're somewhere else, right? We don't want to be like that. We can't change other people. We can make sure that when we're with people, we are present. And when was the last time I touched something or someone with full presence? Hopefully it was just today or just yesterday. Let's make it a goal to be fully present, because people deserve to have us completely, right? Nobody wants scraps. I know I don't. So we want to be able to give that. That's a huge gift to give to other people when we're totally present. And the first start of it is being present with ourselves, being self-aware, being authentic. If I have a mask on and a wall up, I can't be present with you. But why do I have the mask on and the wall up? Because I'm afraid I don't even know who I am. So exploring that who am I? What do I want? What's my value system? What are my beliefs? What makes me happy? What are my passions? How do I like to spend my free time? What are the things that trigger me? Why? Let me figure this stuff out. And then we can start pulling that mask off. Oh, and we can pull the mask off and then bring some mask, wall, another wall, and you feel it. People feel it. But when you can let that go, let go of the shame and be fully present, wow. And that's a whole other topic we need to do a few lives on, shame. Why do we feel ashamed? I had a client today who was telling me like this about his parents and their very toxic relationship. But why does he carry that shame? Why do we do that? As children, we take it on. That's not me. Those are my parents, but I'm embarrassed because they're my parents and I take on the shame, and I've only tried to be a good kid, right? We carry shame that doesn't even belong to us. And our shoulders, you see how my shoulders go all up? We need to bring them down, let them drop. And even if it's things that we've done, we're human. Part of the human club, the human part, being a human, is making mistakes, but we learn from the mistakes and we can grow and we can leave it in the past. Forgive ourselves, give ourselves grace. We didn't know any better. Now we know better, we do better, right? And we make it better. And we don't look back at that, but we carry that shame. And boy, is it so. Then, of course, I have the mask on because I'm ashamed of even existing. How could I be such a horrible person? Everybody else is so much better than me. And meanwhile, everybody's going through something similar. We're all battling our weaknesses. That's another question to get to your authentic self. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? We all have them. No one is perfect walking on this earth. So accept them, embrace them. And if you have an issue even figuring out, because people can spout out the weaknesses. Oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, right? But when I say, and what are your positives? It's like, well, if you're having a problem identifying it, I charge you with the mission of asking 2 or 3 people that you trust that are vitamin people. Can you tell me 2 or 3 of my positive qualities? And they'll probably spit it out. And you'll be like, whoa. And then the homework for you is to accept it and to take that in and digest it and say, yes, I am a good person. right? So it's all good stuff. Physical touch, very important. Get your hugs, 4, 8, 12. That's what we're going to say. Let me look real quick and see what our next and last. Um, um, can I find it real quick? What our next and last, and if someone can think of it or find it before me, you could feel free to share it in the chat. Love languages. We've done quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and receiving gifts. Oh, I know some people that receiving gifts is number one for them. It's very cute. But quality time, we've gone in the order of what you voted for in the emotional wellness chat. If you're not a part of the chat, please join it because I get to see what you're thinking. And receiving gifts was the last. Only 4 people voted on that, but it's still valid, right? It's still important to explore. All right. Some of you that voted on it are here in the chat, and I appreciate that. Yes, Gio says 4, 8, 12. Yeah, let's be more conscientious. Let's really be, because if hugging and touch has such health benefits, emotional, physical, mental, oh, we need to get on that. That's our assignment. We need to get on this with the hugs and really be mindful of it and intentional, giving and receiving. And you know the people in your life that give the good ones. So make sure you get around them. Love you all. Have a fantabulous evening. This was short but sweet. And I send you all big hugs. Hug on yourself too. It works. Love you.
Thank you.